Well, I guess I've put this video off long enough. Talking about this tractor or the backstory on it. I know some people could probably care less, but there is a couple people that are interested in how I turned out with this. Had this tractor now for basically right at 2 years, and if anybody remembers when I first got it home, the radiator was leaking, so had to put a new radiator in it first thing, and then it went pretty good with it for a while. But then last fall, if anybody remembers, the front axle on that side started leaking. If you can learn anything from me, if you got a problem, probably stop and reevaluate. Would have saved me some money if I would have realized exactly what was going on, but what was going on was that bearing was failing, so then it was allowing it to leak. And I ran it long enough. I mean, it was just kind of a drip here and there, but I knew it was leaking. If I would have stopped, I waited until, I don't know if it was one or two of the rollers of the bearing actually fell down in there and got into the gears, and yeah, ruined the whole housing and the gears, everything in there. So it cost me quite a bit more to fix it than it probably should have. But on this axle, it's not like, an axle on one of those, like the rear end of that. You can take the wheels off and then you can unbolt the axle and then take it out, work on the brakes or whatever you got to do. This frame is in the way to get to the top bolts. I don't know if you can see that or not. So you have to take got to take the wheels off, got to take the whole front end out from underneath the tractor to work on it. That's why it's so expensive. Just a lot more labor to do that, and obviously the parts are about 10 times too high. But so anyways, that's what it ended up happening there. Let's see, I think it's this one here, because they flip-flopped when they put it back together. They took and put new bearings on this side, but then they put that axle on that side, and then this is they actually got a used one, but they got a used one off of a 9200, but it was an earlier model. This one's a 2000. I can't remember all the years that they made them. They might have started them in 97. I'm not sure. But the earlier models, they had a narrower bearing, which was part of the problem with the earlier ones. They had a lot more failures on the front ends because of that narrower bearing. I don't know what year they changed to the wider bearing. But anyways, so the housing didn't allow for the new bigger bearings, so they had to send that to a machine shop somewhere in Minnesota that kind of does that. That took 8 weeks to get it back, so that's why it was sitting in the shop so long. But anyways, so it was basically a year ago now, because it's like the 2nd of March today. Basically a year ago now, they finally got the front end all put back together. And while I had it over there, there's been a little bit of coolant in the oil. So getting about around the 5,000 hour range. They said, well, it could be in the cups of the injectors letting leak by. I don't know how that works, but something with the injector cups. And sometimes when it was all warmed up and you get out to check stuff when it was running good and hot, or operating temperature, and you'd have it sitting there idling at the end of the field, all of a sudden it just start running a little bit funky. I didn't like that, so I had them put all new injectors in at that time, and it's kind of a normal problem, or whatever. This oil cooler, the way I had it explained to me in the original casting from when they made these motors new. This is a 10.5 motor, but it's basically the same block and everything as the 12.5. Just displacement, I think, is different or something. But there's like an O-ring or something that can leak by in that, but a lot of it's because of the casting. So whatever, got that fixed while that was over there. So I can't, off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly what the bill was. It was 40 some thousand to get it done. And then I got it back home, started playing around with the fuel cultivator, and the front end was leaking. So sent it back to get it fixed because it was looking like the weather, they said, well, give us a week and we'll have it done. Well, it ended up being over 2 weeks by the time I got it back, and we had already, some of you remember I had to use the 49 for the first field cultivating, and as soon as the only good part about that was they didn't even redo the front end at the same dealership. They sent it off to a different location, so they had to truck it there. The only good part about that is then they had to truck it back, so then they just trucked it right to me. I mean, I had to pay for it, I guess, but whatever. We literally unloaded it from the truck and hooked it on the field cultivator and took it to the field, so that was worth it there. But anyways, all said and done, it was 40-some thousand, so I think I have, because I put a cab kit and stuff in it when I bought it, and then put the auto steer stuff on it, which I had the ATU in it, but by the time you buy the globe and the screen and stuff, I think I have basically right about 50,000 in it since I bought it, with the that's including the radiator and everything. So I haven't bought it over yet, but in 2 years you don't expect to buy something all over again, which I don't know if I should disclose these numbers or not, but I know people are interested. I bought this when tractors were kind of at the high, especially with part shortages and stuff. Everybody was keeping their tractors, just like what I've done. The 4650 used to be my big tractor. Well, then I got the 8630, and then the 46 got rolled onto the planter, and then now we got this because the 49 was down. That's the whole reason that we bought this. Now that's rolled onto the sprayer and grain cart. Just everybody has done that. Instead of getting rid of their 200 horse plus tractors, they've been keeping them. Now that times are getting a little more tough, you're seeing a lot of more higher hour guys are letting some of them go or whatever, their spare tractors or whatever. It seems like that's the way I see it anyways. But anyhow, I don't know if I should disclose what I paid for it, but I paid $80,000 for it. I kind of overpaid for it a little bit, but for what it was. But at the time, I couldn't find anything in this caliber of tractor for cheaper. I looked at like some 8760s, the ones that were before this era. But every one I found either had 7,000 or 8,000 hours on it. Pretty much every one of them, the tires were all shot. You needed, 15,000 or more in tires. So by the time you got done with that, you'd have 60,000 into one of those. So I don't know if it was the right choice going with this thing. And I'm hoping it's older residue. I'm still getting a little bit of oil in the coolant reservoir. I took that and cleaned it all out, so we'll see now. I know like the 12.5s, 13.5s, they've got some updated head bolts that you can put in. They're like a sealed bolt or something. I've never seen them. I don't know But I don't know, that's something that was kind of from the factory, kind of a factory recall thing on a lot of the 12.5s and stuff. So maybe we'll end up doing something like that, or maybe we'll end up having to do a head gasket on it yet. I don't know. So might not be all over yet, but so I guess you could say I got a pretty expensive 9200 with, it's got 5250 or something on it for hours now. But hopefully it'll start treating us a little bit better. That's part of it when you're a smaller farmer, I guess. Sometimes you got to buy other people's junk, is about what it amounts to. And the guy that I bought this from, I don't know that he was really a real honest person. Maybe he just didn't realize what was all going on with it. But when the radiator was leaking a mile after I left this place, it didn't just happen, and I'm sure he knew about it, but he didn't stand behind it. So always be a good person, be honest, people. Otherwise, it's hard enough the way that it is, and you gotta sit there and fight this stuff. Not that I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for donations or anything. I'm just simply putting this information out there. So I don't know. But anyways, that's the scoop on it. So hopefully it's gonna be decent to us for a while. Anyways, if we gotta do a head gasket or something on it, I guess it is what it is. And hopefully, once we get that ironed out, then after that we'll be good. I don't know. I do have a seal on the back. Comes out of here. That last year was dripping a little bit, but it quit leaking now. So I don't know. I should probably get that seal replaced before. I guess I have it on hand. So, but yeah, got mainly Logan helped put new shovels on. We had the John Deeres on that were new last year that I got with the fuel cultivator. That's the only reason I had the John Deere ones. These are nickels that go onto the John Deere brackets, the quick connect ones with the little spring in there. So we'll see how hopefully they wear a lot better. The ones behind the tires that get more compaction and stuff, I went with it's kind of a heavy duty one. They got extra, I don't know what you call that stuff. I'm drawing a blank, but hardened stuff on there. So hopefully those will last. These are just the regular ones. You can see what they look like on the tips, and then what those look like. So hopefully these last, because the John Deere ones, not all of them were shot, but they were, I would say they were at 35% in my opinion. So, and I don't like to dink around. I'd rather have everything in good shape, ready to go. So we put all new ones on. So I got a couple of these I need to work on. When we were messing around, it was leaking oil. You can probably see the trail. So gotta work on those a little bit, but otherwise this rig's pretty well ready to go. So need to work on that yet too. But so yeah, beginning of March, trying to get stuff rolling, and I've put this video off long enough. Thanks for watching.